It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Here we are. It's Friday. Happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of the week, which is always spectacular. We're always for that, and we'll do some news.
All right. Rapid Roberts is suing the city, saying that Springfield denied them a business and liquor license, saying Rapid Roberts is violating the city ordinance that prohibits the gaming machine type devices in convenience stores and elsewhere for that matter. Rapid Roberts, which has 13 locations in town, is seeking a declaratory judgment and relief. Rapid Roberts says compliance with the gaming device mandate is not required for renewal of a business or a liquor license. The city of Springfield's legal team disagrees with that. So now it is tied up in court, and we'll keep you posted as the case develops.
Yeah,
I was reading the statement put out by the city, and they basically said, yes, it is. But I mean, obviously, the legal team at Rapid Roberts does not feel like it is, but the city's like, no, if you're in violation of a city ordinance, we don't renew it,
It will be decided in court, I suppose.
Yeah. Another wildfire is burning in California. The last couple fires burned 38,000 acres. Wow. And just getting those under control. And now another one has sprung up on Wednesday in northern Los Angeles County. Very windy, extremely dry conditions, making it very tough to keep that area under wraps because it's like a matchbox. 31,000 people had to evacuate on Wednesday, on top of all the other evacuations that have already taken place. These are just the new ones. You know, Springfield-based Convoy of Hope has been there, still there, working in the state to bring relief to people who have lost nearly everything.
Yeah, it was weird, honestly, to see yesterday, the day before, it's hard to remember when, but I was watching the news, and they were talking about how the fire was near the Getty Museum. And when I was there a couple of weeks ago now, the first weekend after it started, we were driving to a location where we knew there were fires and where we were delivering supplies. And a guy who used to live in that area said, hey, there's the Getty Museum. And it was right near the highway. So I know exactly where that is, where that fire is. And that's really close to like the valley area of LA. Which had been, was down in the valley where the downtown is. There wasn't a whole lot of fire going on there. Now the fire's encroaching down there too, which is crazy. So many people live there, and
I can't
so
even really
together.
imagine it. I've covered a lot of natural disasters, different types, living in Texas and elsewhere, but I've never seen a wildfire live in person.
Well, this is so different from anything that I've ever covered. I covered wildfires down in Florida when I lived there, and mostly it was forest that was being destroyed. And I would, you'd go cover it, and you'd be there immediately afterward, and there's smoke everywhere. But it's trees mainly that's destroyed. These where I was standing, where people lived. I mean, it's crazy to stand in the ashes of someone's life,
right?
And you don't know when you're standing there if they even know that it's gone because they evacuated.
Right.
But the chimney is standing. It's very haunting to look around, and all you see are brick chimneys around the area.
Yeah. Did you post any pictures of your still shots?
No.
Of where you were? I saw some of you, not on your page, but elsewhere, and I was like, whoa. You need to post those. Yeah, just so that people can get a visual of where you were.
Yeah, it was odd. Well, we were in Altadena, and I mean, I've seen drone shots of Altadena, and it's leveled. I mean, there's street after street where it's just ashes and smoke. We were in an area that we were driving through a neighborhood, and I said, "Oh, that house is burned down over there," and then you'd drive, and there'd be neighborhood fine, and then 2 more houses burned down. And then you drive and 6 houses in a row. It's just very strange how in some places it's very hit or miss.
Yeah, that's weird. It sounds like a tornado.
Well, it's very odd. It's just
how tornadoes, it's like
embers.
A row of houses is gone, but then there will be 1 or 2 that it like jumped over, and then more. You know what I'm talking about? You've seen plenty of those.
Yeah, it was odd. I don't know how fire does that, because you'd think that if fire gets somewhere, it's with everything as dry as it is out there, that's going to burn
Right.
down everything. But and in many places, that's what it's doing. So convoy continues to work out there, delivering supplies, more than I think 60 semis full of supplies to this point, being delivered and dropped off to people. And it's going to continue because these fires are getting worse, it seems, adding new ones. Greene County deputies, meanwhile, back here in our neck of the woods, have technology in their cars that can alert other deputies in their patrol cars about who is where when they're responding to emergencies, kind of a coordination system. It's called Vehicle Safety Gateway Technology, and it allows all first responders to integrate their systems to this system. That way, if there are two police cars or a fire truck and a police car coming up on an intersection, they can know where the other people are and avoid a collision and coordinate a little bit better. The technology can also alert the public. So if right now you're using Apple Maps or Waze, or there are a couple of other mapping systems, it doesn't look like Google's part of it, which I think is the main one that people use. But anyway, some of those are being integrated into it as well. So you have an idea, a little more advanced warning if there's a lights and sirens coming your way and you need to stop or get out of the way.
Yeah, I was remembering, I don't remember the details. I actually was going to look it up for the audience, but I can't find the story. But I am so confident that years ago, like somewhere out in like the Ebenezer Fire Protection District area, there was a crash of like a fire truck and a deputy going both to an emergency, the same emergency, but both coming on those county roads that come up to like a 90-degree angle, and not being able to see around. But if you have lights and sirens, you assume, okay. And they do slow down. And I think they did slow down, but they still hit. And I was like, man, it would be helpful, especially in some parts of the Ozarks. If there's any kind of foliage, you cannot see around the corner. And so this is really big for a lot of the area I think it's almost more important in rural than it is even in city,
Well, rural's not getting them. I think there's probably a big cost involved, or at least some
Greene
cost
County
involved.
gets really rural, just so you know.
Well, right. But if you're talking, Greene County isn't the rural county in our area. There are others.
True.
But
but
there are some spots.
Yeah, farm roads and foliage. So,
well, I mean, eventually they'll get the cost down on this, and more places it'll become standard equipment. But Greene County's got it now, and we'll see how it catches on, how they do. And soon, meanwhile, more services are going to be going to the Springfield Airport because more people are flying, more than ever, actually. The airport had record numbers for the second straight year. In 2024, 1.4 million passengers flew out of Springfield. That is up from 1.3 million in 2023. $25 million worth of improvements are also coming to the airport this calendar year. They're going to expand short-term parking lot by about 300 parking spots, which I think is huge. Replacing 5 of the terminal's 10 jet bridges, which, okay, that just I don't think passengers know that they're 30 years old, which I think they are. You can't really tell, but if they need new ones, okay. And they're going to expand the tarmac a little bit. They're going to put new carpet in because that's old as well. But and they're trying to figure out a way to build a parking garage.
I saw that they were talking about the parking garage. So we'll see if that comes
that's
about.
Big money. That's like $40-60 million for a parking garage. But I've had people come to the airport to be picked up at the airport, and they're like, why don't you guys have a parking garage? Isn't it? Because they expanded the long-term out so far that you have to walk a mile almost.
I kind of love it though. Not
if it's cold. You're not going to love it if it's cold.
For some people, because I'm about to go sit on my butt for the next how many ever hours of the flight. So I'm like, I'm going to get my walk in, and I get my luggage, and I'm ready.
Are you ready? You ready to enjoy that walk in 5 degrees?
Far away as I can. Yeah.
5 degrees?
Listen, I'm prepared for the occasion. I'm prepared for the occasion. In fact, I have
you're going
my
on
space
vacation.
heater is my space heater is currently on right now.
I know. So you're not you'd be running from the long-term line.
Yeah. Well, that works too. Yeah, exciting news though there at the airport. Woohoo! Yay. Okay. The Jordan Valley Community Health Centers in Springfield now offer walk-in appointments, which they did not previously. Walk-in services include behavioral health, dental, express care, foster care support, pediatric, women's health, and vision. So that's exciting. More details on the locations on all 9 of those clinics at jordanvalley.org. It's good. It's good because they're like this medical clinic, and sometimes life happens and you don't know that you need an appointment, so it's helpful. Okay, we could soon learn a lot more detail about the assassinations of some very prominent leaders in this country. President Trump signed an executive order to declassify the remaining federal records that are related at all to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. What?
Yeah.
What?
I know. Get ready.
Yeah. So leaders have 15 days to come up with a plan to declassify the remaining JFK records, and then 45 days for RFK and Dr. King. Yep. I mean, by the way, that does not mean that it then is like immediately public, if you will. Right. It's just declassified. And then when it's declassified, then there can be the request for public information and all the things. But I mean, there's still a due process that happens, right? But it's just the fact that it would be accessible is really wild. Because when you watch news coverage, you think that you know a lot about a story. And you do to a degree, but you only know as much as the reporter knows. And the reporter thinks that they know a lot. And then you go to court, and then you sit through a trial for days and weeks on end, and you realize how much you did not know. Right. That's why when people make judgment calls, I'm like, there's something that you don't know. I promise that there's something you don't know.
There's
because once you've sat through 500 court cases, you realize how much you didn't know that you thought you knew at the outset.
Right.
Anyway, my point is that we feel like we know a decent amount about these, and we do not.
No, we don't. And we probably, my guess is that we're not going to find out all that much, because Trump released some of the JFK stuff. I think it was JFK during his last term, and everything's redacted. So there's black lines through the majority of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to change that, but that's what happened last time. So the concern is that they're going to release stuff, but it's all going to be innocuous stuff that doesn't tell you anything, and all the good stuff is blacked out.
Yeah. It's interesting because there has to be a reason to redact. I thought that at one point there was some information that was redacted, and the question was why? Why is that redacted?
Sometimes it's because people involved are still living, and they don't want to.
Yeah, this was a government story, and we got it. We ended up getting what we were going for, but it is interesting because sometimes you see stuff redacted, and you find out like it absolutely should not have been redacted, and then they don't redact the dude's social security number. I'm like, I could steal his identity now. Just, you have to, just mark that out.
The question, who's doing the redacting? Well,
yeah, I know. That's the thing.
It's the government.
Yeah, well, someone could speak to this way more intelligently, but the redaction process does not seem uniformed.
No.
So maybe it should be, or maybe it is supposed to be. But in my very limited experience, because I get that it is limited experience, it seems very selective.
Yeah, anyway. It's up for whoever to decide. But, the government ultimately is making the call on what's redacted. They tell you what you're allowed to see and not see. And if there's a situation with one of these 3 situations where somehow the government is implicated, there would be a desire to protect the government.
Right.
And because the faith of the people is in the government, and that could be shaken. I'm not saying it is.
I don't know about that, but
I'm just saying
that's a strong statement.
Well, we have to have faith in our government to
I
some
know,
level.
I know, I know. Yes, I agree. I'm just messing with you because you
Okay.
said it so matter-of-factly.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff that could be involved in those 3 assassinations
Right.
that we have no idea about that would blow our minds,
Yes.
which means it may be redacted. Well, we'll see. We'll see. He's trying. He's trying. He did mention back when whatever happened to the all of the drones, by the way. Are those still happening? Is that over now?
I haven't seen any coverage on drones in at least a week or 2.
I haven't either. But before Trump was president, he was briefed on it and said they know what's going on and they should tell the American people. I have not heard a reporter, and Trump's taken a zillion questions already since being in office in like 2 days. He's taken a zillion questions because I've seen the press conferences, and I haven't seen anybody ask him now that he's the president, what was the drone deal? What was going on there? Because you wanted Biden to tell us. Now you're the guy. Tell us.
Right.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. I mean, yeah.
I need to
Good
get my question up to the front of the line. If I were near him, I would yell it at him. But I'm
you
not
would
close
yell it
enough.
because you're a good reporter. My friend Katie and I talked about this the other day. The man who killed the CEO of United Healthcare. What the heck were the reporters doing? They were just standing there watching the guy. Nobody yelled out, "Why'd you do it? What was your problem?" At the perp walk. I'm like, one of you take the freaking bullet. None of them did it. I was so annoyed because that was such a unique man, the Luigi guy, whatever his name was. What was his name? Mangieloni? Now I can't even remember.
Mario?
Anyway, it's irrelevant.
Oh, that's a video game.
Yeah. So anyway, I just was wondering if someone told the media, don't say a word,
Well, but
I don't know.
You don't have to obey.
I know, right? Yeah, you don't have to obey, but it does make me wonder if someone said they better not say anything, they better not yell anything out.
That's what a perp walk is for.
Exactly.
So we get
People
video
don't
of the
do it
guy
right anymore. We got a lot of,
and you can yell questions at him because sometimes they implicate themselves to the reporters, and that can be used against them.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it gives voice. There's a lot that comes from that. And
if they want to say something, say it.
Right. Anyway, literally nobody yelled a question.
Okay.
So, okay, moving on.
Journalism ain't what it used to be.
It's true.
Duck Dynasty. Meanwhile, we're going to report on Duck Dynasty. Duck Dynasty is returning. A&E is announcing 20 new episodes that will be released 1 hour each over 2 seasons. Updated show will follow Willie and Corey and their growing family of adult and grandchildren. The next generation, you could say, of the Robertsons living on the family homestead in Louisiana. So that's going to premiere this summer. Just know that it's coming. Duck Dynasty ran for 11 seasons, had about 12 million viewers. So it did very, very well, as did the Robertsons.
Yes. I never tuned in, which is terrible because 12 million people did. So I cannot add to the pop culture discussion, but I do know a friend of mine read their book and grew a lot as a human.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Loved the book and really seriously, they were like, this is phenomenal. So, good for them. That's exciting. Yeah.
What's going on this weekend?
Couple of weekend events to tell you about. We have the O'Reilly Auto Parts Outlaw Nationals that is happening at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds inside the new and heated Wilson Logistics Arena. So that is Friday tonight and Saturday tomorrow. Tickets are on sale. Go have fun. I've been to a monster truck show. If you've not, are you really living if you haven't been to a monster truck show? I mean, it is a sight to behold. So that's good time.
Hey, also this weekend at the E-Plex at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds is the Greater Springfield Garage Sale. It's an annual thing they do. It is tomorrow and Sunday. So they're going to have lots of stuff, antiques, collectibles, jewelry, clothes, arts and crafts, furniture, everything that you would see at a garage sale.
I do feel like
You're
the
gonna
garage
see it.
sale might be more my speed than the monster truck show.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I could go either way.
Well, it's going to be big. So it's Saturday, tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 6 in the p.m., and then Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I would imagine that if you go Saturday, you're going to see more stuff, maybe better stuff. But on Sunday, you trade it off because you're going to get better deals, probably.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
You always get better deals on the second day of the garage sale. That is the truth.
And it's a garage sale, so I would imagine there's negotiation involved.
Yeah. That's kind of fun. I don't know
You take
what.
a nickel. You take a nickel for that.
I wonder
Like,
if the kids would want to go to that.
I don't know. They
That
like
would be.
stuff.
I mean, this is other people's stuff. Yeah, maybe. I'll have to ask them about that.
All right. We're 21 minutes in, so let's wrap.
All
this
right,
thing
we
up.
better wrap. We better wrap her up. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Happy weekend, everybody. Enjoy your workday, and then have a really, really relaxing and awesome weekend.
Yep. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye.